Welcome to BBQCoach.com. Today we're going to do smoked turkey, and not only any old kind of smoked turkey, but we're going to do a true slow smoked turkey. Most turkey recipes call for like a 325 degrees or 350 degrees smoker or oven. This one's going to be a truly slow smoked barbecue turkey. It's going to be fairly simple. It's about a 13-pound turkey. Nothing fancy, just a Publix turkey. You can use a butterball turkey. These are frozen turkeys that have been injected with a broth. So one thing we're not going to do today is brine the turkey. There's no sense in brining or injecting a turkey that's already been injected. We're going to put all our flavorings on the outside of the turkey and on the inside cavity. It's going to be we're going to use our Southwest rub while we're cooking, and we're going to baste it while we're cooking. In the bottom of the pan, we're going to put a little bit of white wine. It's like a semi-sweet white wine. It's just to keep things moist, keep the turkey in a moist environment, and to keep the drippings that drip off the turkey from drying out in the bottom of the roasting pan, or smoking pan is more like it today. This is going to be our roasting pan. It's just a full-size aluminum pan with a rack in it. The rack's got about half-inch high legs on it. So this is basically a cookie cooling rack. You can get them down at Bed Bath & Beyond or any good restaurant supply store, or you know, any one of those cooking type stores. But we're going to just pour a little bit of this white wine down in the bottom of there and keep those drippings moist, because we want to use those drippings to make our gravy later on. And we're also going to during the last probably the last hour, we're going to be glazing the turkey with some honey, some maple syrup, and some apple juice. That'll be our simple glaze for this turkey. So first thing we're going to do is you want to open this turkey up, rinse it off real good, pat it dry with some paper towels. Of course, take the giblets out, and then I'll show you how to truss it up so it's nice and compact and everything will cook in a uniform manner. And that's about it for now. Let me rinse this turkey off and take the giblets out, and we'll return back here and truss this thing up. Okay, we've got the bird all rinsed off, and got the giblets out. And make sure you get all those giblets out and get all this rinsed off real good in there. And what we're going to do now is put some squeeze margarine all over the bird like this. And we're going to do this so we can apply some rub before we start trussing this thing up. Because when we truss it up, it'll a lot of these areas, like down in these cavities, you won't have access to after you truss it up. So we're going to get our rub all in there now and then truss it up. Just rub that squeeze margarine all over the bird. This will help develop a nice golden brown skin, you know, nice dark skin. Get it all over, both sides. And a little on the inside too. Gotta season the inside. Just get on down in there and rub it all around. What I'm going to do now is grab my rub, sprinkle on a little rub. Using the Southwest Rocky Mountain Products Southwest rub, same rub I use in competitions. This is a good all-around rub. You can use any rub you want. This will give it a little bite, and when that marries with the glaze, the sweet glaze I'm going to put on this thing, it's going to be real nice. What I'm going to try to do is get all those, make sure I get all those places that are going to be inaccessible after we truss this thing up. Get it inside the cavity too. Get it all on all the sides inside the cavity, top, bottom, left and right. Get it inside them wings. That margarine helps it stick to the bird a little bit better too. We'll put some more on later because we're going to mess all this. A lot of this rub is going to rub off out while we're trussing it, so we're just trying to get the inaccessible areas here. We'll put some more on later. Okay, we can start trussing this thing up now. We'll get a little bit more rub on there later before we cook it. This turkey did come with this metal truss that held the legs up, but didn't do anything with the wings. You can tuck those wings up under there like that sometimes, but it's much better to truss this thing up, especially on a long smoke like we're going to be doing tonight. What I have here is about a 8-foot piece of kitchen twine, and I've basically folded it in half. And I got the legs sticking towards me right now. And what I'm going to do is basically go and put the half end of the string over the top of that neck, base of that neck bone. right there. Just lay that over the top of that neck bone. I'll wait for that helicopter to go by so y'all can hear me. Then I pulled the string on each side of the breast like this, and what I'm going to do is make a knot right up under this breastbone, this backbone here. It's a surgeon's knot, which is basically 3 loops in 1 loop, almost like a square knot, but it's 3 loops on the bottom, 1 on, well, basically 2 loops on the bottom and 1 on top. You notice I pulled out that real tight, and it tightened up this breast area, and it's not going to slip. That's the nice thing about it. These surgeon knots, they don't slip. So what I do now, I got that tied right here with the surgeon's knot right under that breastbone. And I take I got the 2 strings here. Take 1 string and wrap it around this leg, the bottom of this leg, and over the top of the leg, and put it back down the side of that other breast. And this one I'm going to do the same. Go under the end of the leg and back over here on this side of the breast. And what I'm going to do now is bring it right down. You see this little nubbet thing on the wing? It's a little nubbet there. Bring it right into that nubbet. And turn your turkey over and do another surgeon's knot right on the back side here, on the bottom side. 2 loops. Pull it tight. And you don't need to just go ahead and tie this off tight. Seems to be, there we go. Then bring it back out over. Bring it back over towards the legs. You got a little loop there, and bring it over towards the legs and tie that thing up right like that with another surgeon's knot. So your last knot's going to go right there on the end of the legs. You get this string to stick, so I'll do another loop. There we go. Do one more just to make sure that doesn't slip. Cut the ends off. Tuck them, make sure them wing tips are tucked in there nice. That's a nice trussed up turkey. It's gonna cook a lot more uniformly this way. And what I'm going to do now is stick this back in the refrigerator. One thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to show you how much of this wine I'm going to put in the bottom of this pan. Just enough to cover the bottom. About half a bottle. We'll use the rest of this in the gravy. And then your grate goes on top of that wine. And then your turkey goes right on top of that grate. There's going to be no foiling or anything like that. We'll put a little bit more rub on here when we right before we throw it in the smoker. And we'll throw it in the smoker tonight, and it'll be done in the morning. So I'm just going to toss this in the refrigerator just like it is for now, and I'll throw it on the smoker tonight. And about the only other thing we're going to do is insert this temperature probe right into the breast right here. We're gonna cook this turkey to 165 degrees in the breast. Now some people cook, they insert the probe in the thigh, and the thigh is always going to be at a higher temperature than the breast. So if you're sticking your probe in the thigh, you're gonna want to cook it to about 180, 185 degrees. If it's 165 in the breast, it's going to be somewhere in the 180, 185 degree range in the thigh. So I just think it's a lot easier to stick it in the breast right up here. Try not to hit a bone or anything like that. Just stick it in the thickest part of the breast. And that's about it. Once we get it in the smoker, we're not going to touch it for about 4 hours. Let everything set up. Let the rub set up on there. And then we'll maybe take a look at it and do some basting. Just baste it with the juices down here in the bottom of the pan. And also you're going to want to check the level of the wine in the bottom of the pan. Make sure that's it doesn't evaporate too fast on you. Make sure there's always here comes another helicopter, so hold on a second. Yeah, this is going to be a long smoke at 230 degrees, so always try to make sure there's some water in the pan, or some wine or some kind of liquid. You don't want your drippings to dry out and evaporate and get all crusty down on the bottom of the pan, you know. That's what we're trying to avoid. But just pour in a little bit more wine if you need to. while you're cooking, and basically that's it. We're not going to do anything for 4 hours, and then we'll baste it and check the level of the wine in the bottom of the pan, and that's it. Other than that, just leave the lid on your smoker closed and try to maintain that 230 degree temperature. And by the way, we're going to be using a fruit wood today. I think that'll go nicely with the turkey and the apple juice glaze that we're going to use. I'll be using peach. You can use cherry or any kind of fruit wood will do. That's about it. I'll see you in the morning when we start to glaze this thing up. Hello, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. This morning about 6 o'clock I came out here and checked the turkey after putting it on at 2 o'clock in the morning. What I did at 2 o'clock in the morning was apply a little bit more squeeze butter or squeeze margarine to the outside of the turkey, and applied some more rub on the bottom and the top. That's after I trussed it up. You know, when I was trussing it up, it knocked off a lot of the rub and that kind of, you know, so I applied a little bit more and threw it on here at 230 degrees. And 6 o'clock in the morning, all I did, it didn't need basting yet, so I just added a little bit. What I did was added about a 1/4 inch of water to the bottom of the pan, just to keep things moist down there. And then about 8 o'clock I started basting with the juices down in the bottom of the pan with this baster. And it's 9 o'clock, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Just baste it about every hour when it needs it. As you can see, it's coming along nicely. The internal meat temperature in the breast is 154 degrees. Just use the baster and get all parts of the turkey wet, you know, just to keep that skin from drying out too much. One more squirt on top ought to do. I'll zoom it in here, let you see what it looks like. Looking good, looking good. What I'm going to do now is make my glaze, which I'll probably start using instead of basting with the liquid in the bottom of the pan. When it hits about 160 degrees in the breast, it's at 154 right now. That should be the last hour. of the cook, even though it does seem to be on a what you call a barbecue plateau, which is perfectly fine. You know, it's normal. When you're cooking low and slow, the meat tends to get to a certain temperature and stay there for what seems like hours, and sometimes it can be hours. So just don't worry about it. That's good. That's when all the good stuff is happening inside the meat, and all the collagen and muscles are breaking down and becoming tenderized. So the barbecue plateau is something good. Our glaze is a simple glaze. 1 cup of honey. And let me get the top off of this thing. And 1 cup of maple syrup. I got my little electric burner here, which I bring to barbecue contests to heat my sauce up in. We're just gonna heat this until it melts everything together and makes it a little bit more runny, so I can apply it with the turkey baster. That honey's a little bit cold. It's been sitting out in 40-degree weather here. It's thick. Then I'll 2 cups of apple juice. I'll try to get all that honey out of there with the apple juice. Alright, just warm that up, and that'll be next time I baste, probably about 9:30 or 10 o'clock, depending on the internal meat temperature in that breast. When that gets about 160, I'll start basting with this glaze, and when it hits 160, it shouldn't be no more than an hour before it hits 165. So we're basically glazing during the last hour. Alright, that's about it for now. We'll be back here when we apply this glaze. It's 1 o'clock, and the internal temperature on the breast is 161 degrees. It took a while to get up to that temperature. It took about three hours to get from 156 all the way up to 161. That's that barbecue plateau I was telling you about. So just be patient when that happens. And what we're going to do now is start glazing it instead of basting it. We're gonna apply this apple juice, honey, maple syrup glaze. And only other thing I did about an hour ago was the liquid in the pan was starting to evaporate a lot, so I poured in the rest of that. Wine, the rest of the wine that was left in the bottle. Just baste the whole thing with make sure you get the back parts too. Just reach back there and baste the whole turkey. You're going to want to do this twice in the next hour. So don't use up all your glaze in the first basting. Another thing, notice that temperature probe wire sticking in the turkey like that. When you're basting, just be careful not to get any liquid on where the wire connects into the probe, because that'll mess up your probe wire. You're not supposed to immerse those probes in water when you're cleaning them, so try to keep that dry and don't squirt any baste on that wire. About 30 minutes I'm going to baste it with this glaze again, and then it'll probably be done in about 30 minutes. It's getting on up to temperature right now, and remember we're cooking to internal temperature of 165 degrees in the breast. Okay, our turkey is done. I'm going to take it out now, and what I'm going to do is let it rest for 1 hour before carving, and while it is resting I'm going to show you how to make that gravy. So let's take this out, and we'll cut the strings off, the truss strings off, and let this thing rest up. Notice the way I hold this pan here. These pans can buckle on you if you hold them on the ends, so always put one hand underneath the pan like this and hold it like that. I had one of these things buckle on me at a contest one time, and that was not good. Okay, I'm going to remove the truss strings. Snip them off with a pair of kitchen shears. Get my gloves on, that thing's still hot. Make sure you pour the juices out of the cavity. That's those are going to be used for the gravy. Lots of good gravy down in there. Pull them strings off the bottom. There you go. One good looking smoked turkey, slow smoked turkey. What I'll do is put a piece of butcher paper over this and let it just rest for the next hour, and we'll go inside and I'm going to show you how to make that gravy in there on the stove. So we'll be right back. Okay, I'm ready to make the gravy, and basically what I'm going to do here is deglaze this pan. I got it on about medium-high heat, and I want to scrape all the drippings off the bottom of the pan and on the sides here. That's all good stuff there, and you want to get it in your gravy to flavor it. See all this stuff right here? If you didn't have any juice in there in the pan, you can deglaze it with some, some wine, or you can also use some broth, vegetable broth, or chicken broth, or turkey broth. And you can deglaze it with anything you want. I already had plenty of liquid in the bottom of my pan, so I don't need to add any more liquid, it looks like. Alright, once you have this all deglazed, what you want to do, I'm not going to strain it until after I'm finished making my sauce, but what I'm going to do now is separate off the fat. Let's see. Not a whole lot of fat there to work with. Which is okay. In this case, what I'm going to do is just add a little bit more olive oil. And what I'm going to do first here is make a roux. You want about equal parts oil and flour. About equal parts. You want the consistency to be about like peanut butter, and about the color of peanut butter. Just keep stirring. That's a little too thick, so I'm going to add some more oil. it'll bubble up on you, and you just want to keep stirring until it gets the color of peanut butter. Some people like their roux a little bit darker, like chocolate, but that'll impart a whole different flavor to your gravy if you do that. This sort of gives it a nutty flavor. You always want to cook your flour down like this so you don't have that flour taste in your gravy. Of course, this is the same way you make a roux for a gumbo. I like my gumbo roux to be just a little bit darker than peanut butter, but a little bit lighter for a gravy. Again, I got this on a medium high heat. It's starting to darken up here a little bit. Really starting to thicken up now and darken up real quick, so you got to watch it so you don't burn it. And it's right about where I like it, you know. And what I'm going to do now is pour my gravy right back in there while stirring. Pour it all in there. Oil and all, the good little bits and everything. I'm going to give it a taste, see what, it's probably pretty salty. Already, so you probably don't need to add any salt. There's a lot of salt in that turkey which cooked out. That's some good gravy right there now. It's got a real strong turkey flavor. Yeah, the rub, flavor from the rub is in there that got down in the bottom of the pan. The apple juice, the maple syrup, and the honey. It's a little bit sweet with a little bite. Man, that's good. Not too thick, not too thin. I'm not going to add any salt or pepper. It's got plenty of flavor. I mean, it's just bursting with flavor. Like I said, turkey flavor, a little sweetness. It developed a lot of kick from that Southwest rub I had on the turkey. It's all in there. This is an excellent gravy right here. I'm going to take me another spoonful there. Some good stuff. If you wanted this a little bit thicker, you could cook it down and reduce it a little bit, but it's fine the way it is. If you let it heat up just a little bit more, it'll thicken up. If you didn't have enough juice in the bottom of your pan, you could add some apple juice at this point, or some more wine, or like I said, the broth, you know, vegetable broth, turkey broth, chicken broth, whatever you want. That's about it. I'm gonna leave it right there, and only thing I have left to do now is put it in the, I'm going to strain it now and put it in this gravy bowl. There you have it. Slow smoked turkey gravy right there. Apple maple honey. Okay, it's time to carve this turkey up. See what she tastes like. First thing I'm going to do is take these legs off right at the joint. I like dark meat myself. Tastes great. It's not dried out. It's nice and juicy. And for the breasts, I like to come right down beside that that breastbone. If I can find it. And just cut straight down. And out towards the across the top of the ribs there. Whew. Just falling apart. So tender. What I like to do is cut across the, sort of across this way to give everybody a nice thick slice, which includes a lot of skin. That's where all the flavor is going to be, in that skin. Still nice and juicy, as you can see. The juice is just squishing out of that meat. I just like to give everybody a nice, go ahead and cut up the breast like that. Everybody gets some skin, nice presentation. Just like that. And these legs you can just cut up any way you like, trying to get as much skin on the dark meat as possible. I tell you, that meat's just falling off the bone. You don't have to cut everything off the carcass. You can just pull most of the meat off once you've sliced up the breast meat and these legs here. Got that little bone in the leg in the way there. I tell you what, that's some good turkey. All this dark meat on the bottom, just cut the wings off. Just pull it back and find that joint and cut right at the joint. Here's your thigh. Oop, there's all your thigh meat right there. Just keep cutting and picking at it until it's all, you know, try to present it, you know, nicely on the platter. Separating your white meat from your dark meat, and what you can't cut off, just pick off. And that's about it for the slow smoked turkey. Turned out nice. Give it a try. You'll enjoy it.